What if the reason you're burning out isn't because you're working too hard, but because you're working against the pulse of your own biology? We've all been taught to prize the 8-hour grind. We sit at desks, forcing our brains to focus, ignoring the fog that sets in after 60 minutes. But your brain doesn't work in a straight line. It works in waves. New research in 2026 has confirmed that the human brain has a hard limit on high beta wave activity. Today, we are uncovering the Ultradian rhythm, the 90-minute biological clock that dictates your genius, your fatigue, and your recovery. This is the secret protocol used by elite athletes and world-class chess players to achieve flow on command. To understand focus, we have to look at sleep. In the 1950s, sleep researcher Nathaniel Kleitman discovered that our sleep is divided into 90-minute cycles. But his greatest discovery wasn't about the night, it was about the day. He called it the basic rest activity cycle, or BRAC. Kleitman discovered that our bodies operate on the same 90-minute oscillation while we are wide awake. For about 90 minutes, your brain is in a high-performance state. Your heart rate is slightly elevated, your hormones like testosterone and cortisol are optimized for action, and your brain is firing fast wave signals. But at the end of that 90 minutes, your biology shifts. Your brain literally begins to produce adenosine and GABA, chemicals designed to slow you down. If you ignore this signal and keep working, you aren't being productive. You are redlining your nervous system. In 2026, we call this Ultradian stress syndrome. It's the primary cause of chronic anxiety and that scattered feeling you have by 11 o'clock in the morning. Why is that 20-minute break so non-negotiable? It's because of a process called synaptic normalization. When you are in deep work, your neurons are firing rapidly, creating a buildup of metabolic waste products in the synaptic gaps. Your brain needs a flush period to clear this debris so it can reset for the next wave. This flush happens during the ultradian healing response. Research published in the Journal of Applied Psychology shows that if you take a 20-minute active recovery break after a 90-minute sprint, your performance in the next sprint remains at 100%. However, if you skip the break and push through, your performance in the next cycle drops by 40%, and your error rate increases by 60%. Most people spend their lives in a gray zone. They never work at 100%, and they never rest at 0. They are stuck in a 50% limbo of semi-distracted work and semi-guilty rest. The Ultradian power-up is about moving from the gray zone to the deep blue zone. How do you enter flow faster? Science shows that flow isn't a random event. It's the peak of the Ultradian wave. But you can't reach the peak if you're constantly micro-interrupting the wave. Every time you check a notification or answer an email during your 90-minute cycle, you trigger attention residue. Your brain stays partially stuck on the interruption for up to 20 minutes. This effectively mutilates your ultradian wave. In 2026, top-tier performance coaches are using the 10-minute on-ramp. It takes roughly 10 minutes of boredom and struggle for the brain to transition from the dopamine-seeking state to the deep focus state. Most people quit during these first 10 minutes because it feels hard. But if you understand the biology, you know that the struggle is actually the sound of your brain shifting gears into the ultradian peak. If you can protect the first 10 minutes of the wave, the next 80 minutes become effortless. To master your biology, you must implement the 90-20 protocol. The 90-minute sprint. Use a timer. During this window, you have one single task. No tabs, no phone, no music with lyrics. You are riding the wave. The 20-minute decompression. This is the part everyone gets wrong. You cannot recover by scrolling on your phone. Checking social media is cognitive loading, not recovery. For these 20 minutes, you must engage in non-sleep deep rest, or NSDR. Look out a window, go for a walk without your phone, or do a 5-minute breathing exercise. You must let your visual system expand, panoptic vision, to signal to your brain that the hunt is over. The 3-wave limit. Research shows that the human brain only has about 3 peak ultradian waves per day. Stop trying to find 8 hours of focus. Find 3 90-minute windows. If you master these 4.5 hours, you will outproduce anyone working 12-hour days. The 8-hour workday is an industrial-age relic designed for factory lines, not for the human brain. Your brain is a supercomputer that runs on pulses, not a light bulb that stays on until it burns out. I challenge you, tomorrow, work in 3 90-minute blocks with total disconnection during the 20-minute breaks. Observe the fog lifting. Notice how you feel at the end of the day, not drained, but satisfied. I've linked the original Kleitman research on the BRAC in the description. If you're ready to stop grinding and start flowing, hit that subscribe button. We're optimizing the human machine, one cycle at a time. I'll see you in the next wave.